In 2017, 51% of the registered voters were the youth. Right now, we are projecting another additional 4 million new voters who have just turned 18. So that will bring the numbers to about 15 million out of the projected 26 million. Okay. So to us, as youth, it means that we are the ones who are dictating the government that is coming. So Raila Amolo Odinga coming in his own way, being a political mafia and a very, very profound leader, it's a good strategy. But to us as youth, we want to feel the impact first. We have been used over and over, and we cannot just come in without at least feeling impact on it. Yes.
Okay. Angela.
Yes.
What's your observation in regard to that, and perhaps your analysis of the proposal by the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga?
Thank you for that. For me, I feel like it's nothing new. It's the same story over and again. Year in, year out, when we are walking towards the elections, we hear we want to include the youth. As Kaunda has said, it's because they realize that we are the majority, therefore we have the numbers. And for me, it's not new. So it's not something that should be surprising to Kenyans, that the former Prime Minister is now looking towards the young people. Yes.
Okay, do you think it would, in the event that comes to fruition, it would make any difference of the decry often expressed by the young people in the country?
Of course it will. There's a research that was done by the National Democratic Institute, and it says that 6.5% of the parliamentarians are young people. That's a very low number. So when those numbers increase, automatically our voices will be heard. So I believe if it is something that will be fruitful and something that will be implemented, it will definitely bring a difference.
Okay, Timothy, yes. What's your thinking to that?
Okay, in my humble and noble submission, I really think that that's a noble move by Raila Odinga to include the youths in the leadership. But to be realistic, youths are the majority in this country. And as a country, we've been left behind for a while. Thomas Sankara was a president while he was a youth. Muammar Gaddafi was a president while he was a youth.
27 years.
Yes. And Fidel Castro was also a president while he was a youth. And it's high time that youths must represent in this country. In 2022, a youth will be a do or a die. A youth in the ballot must be an MCA. A youth in the ballot must be an MP. A youth must be a senator. So I think that's a noble move. And then something else that I can also say, the Matibas, the tomboys, the Shikukus, in their 20s, they were noble thinkers and great leaders. And I know truth is unpleasant, truth is vicious, but this is the truth. The current youths have been a disgrace. Too much Premier Leagues, too much comedy, too much drugs, toxic relationships, and therefore that has greatly thwarted youth leadership, youth being trusted at the top. And therefore, I think that it's a time that youths must realize their power. Yeah.
Okay, Timothy, Bill, yes. Timothy makes very proper submissions before I go to my colleague Aziza. Yeah. And he perhaps lays bare the very glaring twin problem. One is the intra-problem amongst the youth themselves, toxic relationships. Too much entertainment, drug abuse, and admission to that. And then the other is not standing up to perhaps use the capacity, the existing capacity, and what I may call as incapacitation of that existing capacity. And then the other problem is the exogenous external pressure from the political class that often sidelines the young people in the country. 15 of 26 million registered voters, it means that you can make up 70% or 80% of the voter register in 2022. Then how do we put this into proper context and use to perhaps take a maximum, more or less, what I may call as putting into use of the power within the reach of the young people and the deliverables needed in terms of the changes that ought to be happening in this country coming from the young people?
Okay, I don't believe the young people are to be blamed on anything that is undergoing right now. The young people, when we talk of entertainment, when we talk of the youth are into toxic relationship, this is just a result of what the government has created.